Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. But one I'm catching them deep. Learn to finesse the game, cause power's easy to me. Mama always told me there's plenty fish in the sea, but y'all ain't never seen a fisherman pimp like me.
Yes.
Hey, yo.
What's up, everybody?
Man.
Welcome to KBN Live. I'm back, Ryan. I'm back.
That is a country ass, fishing ass, rapping ass
You ain't
dude
kidding.
right there.
I'm gonna put a link.
That's
I'm gonna put a link to DJ's YouTube channel in the comments because the author, performer of the KBN intro, DJ Williams, just dropped a new single over there, Country Fishing Ass, over on his YouTube channel. So go watch it.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Ryan, I'm sorry I was out last week, but man, I am sorry I missed the show more than anything. I watched it back. What an unbelievable guest you had last week.
Was it not hilarious?
Mm-hmm.
That guy, I mean, he's a character in himself, but a lot of good messaging came about in those shenanigans.
Yeah, I got a load of clips that I used our AI software to pull out. I'm gonna get those posted up here soon. But yeah, unbelievable show. I host the show with you every week, and I found myself just sitting here watching it like everybody else watches it for that whole hour, just laughing and giggling and having a good time. So
that one was wild. We touched on a little bit of everything. I think the history of kayak fishing, the history of this podcast with Shane Williams. We covered a lot of bases there. I'm sorry if I broke anything on the software. I was trying to run it smooth. I don't know. My apologies.
You killed the game. And Marshall, appreciate him stepping in last minute. Was out sick last week. I don't know what was going on. I didn't have the COVID, but I certainly didn't feel like being on here and limping through the show. But I'm back. I'm back today. So.
Cam thought we would have more views with Marshall on the show.
He did. She did. Why'd she do that? Why'd she do me like that?
She's hating. She's
not a fan of Jeffrey.
She's a Marshall fan. She ever since that Sweden trip, he was our driver. Really a team player. Obviously his French girl experience. He gained a lot of fans on that trip.
Well, tell Cam that made me sad, but I don't know. I'll give the more views to Blake, not to Marshall. How about that?
Yeah, appreciate it.
We got a big show tonight. Double feature. First part of the show, we're gonna have BDH Bryan Howell. He's been on several times, usually for winning big money somewhere.
He'll probably be back on next week.
Yeah, very soon. But he's going to preview Big Sam, which we can talk about that when he comes on. But there's some giants being caught down there.
It's on fire right now.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. And then we've got John Dalton, who I've tried to have on here for a while. He was supposed to come on for the YouTube channel review show, but along with the rest of the YouTubers had COVID and was sick, and he couldn't really come on here. He's going to come on tonight because he's he just crossed 150,000 subs on YouTube, Creek Fishing Adventures, for those of you that I'm sure are fans of his over there. And he started off kind of wade fishing, doing the creek fishing, still does all that, but he's also now dabbling in kayak tournaments. So we can talk about all that and kind of over to this side of things with John in the last part of the show. So it's going to be a big one, man. It's going to be
like it.
Yeah. A few things to get to before we get going. Of course, I put DJ's video in the comments, but some unbelievably sad and all too familiar news I saw last week that I wanted to share some stuff about, Ryan. I don't know. It's actually, strangely enough, almost 1 year ago to the date, like a week ago, 1 year ago, got the horrible news about my granddaughter Rowan she is doing great now. She's rung the bell. She's clear of cancer right now. Thank you all so much for all the support and prayers through that. But last week on YouTube, I saw Miles Berghoff, who fishes the Bassmaster Series out there. He's got a big YouTube channel. His daughter, his little girl, got diagnosed with the exact same thing, neuroblastoma. They're moving to Memphis now to St. Jude for treatment. It was like a gut punch seeing somebody else have to go through that. And it's a very rare cancer. I mean, it's only hundreds of kids per year. That's it. They come up with that. So they're going through that fight. So I wanted to share the links to his GoFundMe. I'll throw a picture of him and his little girl on the screen here. Let's see if I can pull this up. Yeah. Yeah, there they are right there. Heading to the hospital. They're literally going to move to Memphis. And I know you've got some contacts at St. Jude. They're going to a great place to get that taken care of.
I reached out to him and let him know. I mean, if there's anything I could do to help, obviously on the medical side, but also, the fundraising side. St. Jude's great about covering expenses as far as the medical treatment goes. But when you're completely uprooting your family and moving to a new city, there's a lot of stuff that comes along with that. So, keep your ear to the ground. You may or may not be hearing something. If he responds and he's up for it, I'd be happy to do what we do over here.
Yeah, and people, I pulled up their GoFundMe. I dropped a link in the chat. They're already over $100,000 in the GoFundMe. I mean, the community, like they do, is rolling and raising some money for that family. So keep that up and do what you can from KB Nation. So, just sad news, but I thought we needed to share it here because, as always, we want to rally the troops if we can and prayers up for Sonar and his family because he's I don't know him personally, but seems like a great guy, great family man.
Local Chickamauga guy. He's always out on chick, busting them up.
Any kid that has to go through this and any family with their kid, we don't want that. We want her to get over this quick. So prayers up for a quick cure for her. What else we need to get to, Ryan? Anything else before we get in here? I know we need to talk about the sponsors before we get Brian in.
Thank our sponsors, and we'll roll in with BDH.
All right. So, of course, shows presented by Eco Fishing Shop, ecofishingshop.com. I'm rocking their hat tonight. It's not too late to get geared up. I mean, I know there's national tournaments firing up all over the place, but it's really still early in the season. So hit up Eco.
Rigging them out every day. Make sure you get yours dropped off at your door.
Yeah, dropped off at the door. Remember, no forklifts touching that thing. They're going to hand white glove treatment to the door. So there you go. Western Son Vodka. I got a bottle on the wall back there. We're glad to have them back for 2024.
Got some in
Western Son. Yeah. Distillery.com. They are available on Drizzly. If you have that in your area, for some reason, I don't have that in Northwest Arkansas yet, but if you have that, it's like Uber for alcohol. You can get it straight to your house. ProGuide Lithium. Get those charged up and ready. It's going to be a rainy, windy week at Rayburn, but hopefully some big ones will be caught. And then tonight, if you guys saw, we're doing a Revo giveaway. Put that logo on the screen. You guys know how we do the Revo. What'd y'all do last week? Z-Man? Did I see that right?
Z-Man, yep.
Yeah. So Revo giveaway tonight. Like and share, comment everywhere else. And we'll give you some sweet Revos. I've got all the codes now, Ryan, so it'll be a quick turnaround on the Revos. I had to wait last time.
If you don't have any rain gear and you're going to Big Sam, order you some Gill, use the KBN code, and save some big money.
Hey, Josh is trying to cheat it with I'm not doing hashtag Revo tonight. We're not doing that. Gonna make y'all work for it tonight.
He's slick.
Yeah, I'm slick. Took a week off. I'm rejuvenated, feeling froggy.
Sharp.
Let's get Brian in here, man. Let's go ahead and get Brian in. Talk a little Rayburn. What's up, BDH?
What's up? I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Good.
That's good.
How's that little one doing?
He's doing great. He's gigantic now.
I was gonna say he probably ain't little anymore, is he?
Yeah. He's only 2, but he looks like he's like at least 3 or 4.
How's Mama?
She's good too.
Keeping you straight?
Yep.
Love it. So tell us about Rayburn. If you haven't been keeping up with Rayburn, it's put out 3 share lunkers this week?
Yeah, something like that. I saw they caught 13 something today.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that surprising for anyone that knows Rayburn.
That's nuts.
This is the time of year to do it.
How do you feel like the timing of this tournament is? I mean, it's kind of on a warming trend, and I saw Guillermo posted a link that the water levels are going up right now too.
Yeah, it's going up still. I mean, they were keeping it low for the dam repairs, and now they kind of, I think, have to keep it high for a little bit just because there's only so much water they can release because we've been getting a ton of rain in Texas. The Neches is full, so they can't really release anything, so it's just staying in there. And it's coming up, I don't know, like maybe 6 inches in the last day, and it seems like progressively it's just coming up and up and up because it was maybe only a couple weeks ago that it was about 8 foot low or so.
Mm-hmm.
So now water's come up and it seems like the fish are just biting like crazy because of that and the warming trend. I mean, it's been, it got really cold and then all of a sudden it got nice and warm, and it's been like t-shirt weather most of the time the last few days around here. And, you look at the tournament results, the boat tournament results lately. I mean, they're catching, 25-pound sacks like it's nothing. Like 20 probably doesn't even get you a check, right? It's insane.
That's awesome. Do you think it's going to show out like Harris Chain did? I mean, obviously you were keeping up with Harris Chain. You saw that mega bag that was thrown up on day one.
Yeah, someone could definitely do that at Rayburn. Multiple people could do that at Rayburn. Like, this is the time of year to go fish Rayburn and catch giants. Pump out giant bags like crazy.
That's awesome.
Let me know this, Brian. Do you have what are the fish doing? You think? Do you have to have scope to catch them? Can you go down there and just crank and wind in the grass and get them?
The water's rising. When the water's rising, they want to be up on the bank, so they're gonna probably be on the bank. I'm sure if you wanted to go scope, you could go scope and catch them, but you don't need scope. You don't even need a graph right now. Probably just go out there and toss a jackhammer around and hold on.
Hold on. All right.
I want to go to Rayburn now.
Yeah. So Ryan,
the water is high enough that there might be a decent amount of water in the bushes. Like if those fish are feeling a little frisky and want to get up in the bushes and start thinking about spawning, you never know. You could start flipping those bushes and catch some real giants.
Damn it, Ryan, he's talking me into it. So the BOS this year has that extended registration period. You can pay up until I think it's Wednesday now, right?
Yeah, Wednesday at I think 10.
So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go or not. We're trying to sell our house, buy a house here in Northwest Arkansas, but I do have a hotel reserved down there still.
Nice.
So you're talking me into pulling the trigger.
If you can do it, I definitely would.
Okay. Dang it. Okay. I'll tell Ashley we still got money for the closing costs. We'll be all right. We'll go down.
What do you think it's going to take to win it?
I would say probably at least over 200, but you never know. Because I know there were multiple good bags at giant bags at Harris Chain, but I think no one caught over 200, right? Like everyone kind of struggled that second day.
Blake was right there. He's at 199 or something.
Yeah, right? Something like that.
Got so close.
I think it was pretty close.
He was the most consistent, obviously the most consistent over 2 days. Carl Jochimson was really consistent total wise. He pretty much did the same thing the second day that he did the first day. So that was for him to jump in his first kayak tournament, even though he had history down there. Fishing out of a kayak is completely different, especially on your first tournament to come out and do that against the field that he was up against. So that was really impressive.
Yeah, definitely impressive. Then that. It seemed like a lot of guys weren't that consistent, but like you said, he was consistent, and that kind of shows just how good he really is. He can just be consistent anywhere, probably anytime.
Oh, yeah. There's a reason he's a pro, I'd say.
Exactly. There's a reason. Like, it shows.
Yeah, and he took the kayak event seriously. I mean, he really did. He didn't just show up. I mean, he took it serious, was prepped and ready. So that was cool to see. What do you think about... You say that we could smash them, catch them giants down there. You think it's going to be deeper into the field with, how some of these events, Harris Chain, for example, in midway in the field, some people struggled, but you think this could be one of those where the guy in 50th place still has 80 inches and it's just a shootout to the top?
It definitely could be. It could be where you're like, oh, I caught 80. I feel pretty good. And then you look and you're like, well, that's, you have a shot. Even if you catch 80 on the first day, you put up 90 something next day, you can be up there in the top 10, no problem. But yeah, it could be one of those ones where it's a little more difficult to really, be up there. Be that easy
for both days, or is there going to be a weather change from day one to day two? Have you checked the extended
forecast? It looked
forecast
pretty consistent from what I saw. I think it's going to rain both days, and it's going to be warm both days. That's the nice thing, though. It's going to be warm all the practice, all the tournament. Like, you're not going to have to worry about that. Yeah, there's rain, but I'd much rather fish in rain when it's like 60 degrees versus...
It's a warm rain, too. It's
like
not
30.
It doesn't look like it's a, cold front type deal coming in. It's coming in here, too. I was looking at the weather, and our lows are actually going up by like 14 degrees as that rain comes in.
Yeah, like I was fishing, in the snow and ice and everything, just like 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. And now I'm looking at the weather and it's like, dang, it's gonna feel nice out there. It's not even gonna be cold in the morning. It's been like, I think 50s in the morning,
Wow.
and then warm up to like high 60s, 70s every day. You can't complain about that for Texas in February.
Well, I'm excited to see how it goes down, man. I mean, Texas is always on the national schedules every year. You've got your own national schedule with the Bass Nation thing going on in Texas this year.
That's
So
crazy.
I expect a solid start on Rayburn, although the field a little bit smaller than I expected. I thought it'd be way over 100 by now.
It's in the it's in the 80s right now, I think. And you saw, I mean, Harris had a huge push that last few days. I think you're probably going to see that in the next couple of days for Rayburn too, especially after the reports coming out and those huge fish that are getting caught. I think you'll see a lot more people get interested in it.
Yeah, and I wondered if it was, did you have to be registered by Friday for the lower cost or paid up last Friday?
I think paid up, but I don't know. That's an AJ question.
Yeah, but it's only like extra $25 or $30. So no big deal.
Blake Abbey's wanting to get a plane ticket and go back to back, baby.
He's got the money. I know he does.
Yeah, you got to burn it, Blake. Come on.
Yeah, YOLO. Come on. So worst thing you can do is win one. Now you're gonna spend all your money on the rest of them. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh, 115. It's at 115 now. It's shot up 20 today, over 20.
Wait, it is?
That's what they're saying. I don't know. You can't tell about these people.
I checked earlier. Let me pull out my phone here.
Don't trust them.
Exactly.
I can't trust the nation.
Let's look right now. I'm pulling it up. It says no, it's at 86.
Man, what are y'all talking about? 109. Oh, maybe that's their final.
Oh,
prediction.
Inches. They're saying inches.
I said, what'll it take to win on Rayburn? It's gonna take 2-day limit, not a 1-day limit. This is a 2-day tournament, y'all.
Man, I'm done with these people. I'm done with these people.
Maybe they're saying a 1-day limit of 115, all-time record breaker. Think that could happen? We just broke it at Harris.
Can you put up 115 BDH?
You could. I mean,
you put up 115.
The most I've ever put up is like 112 and a quarter on fork when I was the first time I ever fished fork, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that's not a bad pond, I guess.
No, after that, I was like, okay, I like this lake.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, I'm excited to see what it does. You basically talked me into going. I think I'm going to hook up and go on down Thursday.
Three the hard way outdoors says Super Bowl Sunday in Texas.
Ooh.
Texas ain't got nothing to worry about with the Super Bowl because they ain't none of them teams have to worry about seeing the Super Bowl, so they'll all be ready to fish.
Yeah, I forgot who was in the Super Bowl, to be honest with you.
Both those red teams, I think.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift and somebody.
Teams. Taylor Swift, yeah. There's a couple Razorbacks on the 49ers, so I know they're in there. I'll be watching them guys. But yeah, any other questions for Bryan? We're not going to keep him long. We just wanted to do a quick Rayburn preview and then get John in here from Creek Fishing Adventures. Yeah. You think it's going to be a Texas guy take it, or it's going to be an out-of-stater? I know a lot of times these Texas tournaments, an out-of-stater will slide in there and take the win, even though Texas fills up the top 10.
Yeah, it's hard to say because, like you said, somebody always seems to figure something out that, somebody that's never been before or whatever, has a new outlook on it, kind of some new techniques that maybe the fish in Texas haven't seen too much.
I don't know. The way it's shaping up right now, man, I think it could be anybody's game, but I think if you have some history there and the areas that those big fish first pull into, I think you probably stand a much higher chance of putting up the big bag.
Yeah, I think history's, I don't know. It's hard to say if history is really even going to help. Like the water's rising and those fish are probably just going to be all over the bank. And I mean, the grass is, I'm imagining like there's grass, there's good grass, but I don't know if it's like going to be kind of weird because there's so much water on top of the grass now, because it was so low. And it's just now rising. It's really, until I get there, I'm not really going to know exactly how it's going to be.
When are you going down?
I'm going to just drive down Thursday morning. I live like 3.5 hours, so I'll wake up early and just drive down and get to the water and see how it is. I have some spots in mind already. I'm going to be looking for that grass. I'm going to be throwing a jackhammer like crazy. Hopefully they'll eat it good. I'll find a couple little nice spots that won't be too crowded because I think there's like a MLF, not the BPT, whatever one's below that, Invitational or something. Is that what it is?
It's hard to get lower. Hard to get lower than the BPT.
It used to be the Toyota series. Now it's called something else, I think, right?
Now it's the one above the Toyota series, I think.
Oh, okay.
We have more live viewers on this podcast right now than BPT has.
Well, they don't even go live the first 2 days anymore.
Yeah, I can't believe they don't go live the first 2 days anymore, but whatever. Anyway, there'll be those guys out there, the invitational guys or whatever. So I don't think it'll be too crowded with kayaks, but with the boats, it might be a little bit crowded.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, good luck, man. Thank you for coming on, giving everybody a little sneak peek of what to expect, and hopefully you hype some people up and got Jeff off the fence to come down and jump in the tournament.
Yeah. It's time to catch your PB. This is the time to do it. That boat tournament, a week ago, whatever, had like 3 fish over 10 pounds caught, bunch of 9s, bunch of 8s.
Yeah. All right. I'll holler. I always run into you at a ramp whenever I fish a tournament nearby where Ryan is. So I'll find him. He'll tell me how he caught him and I didn't when I see him down there. So it'll be fun. All right, man. Good luck, Bryan.
All right. Thank you.
All right. See you, buddy.
See ya. That's
how I know I'm in the right area, Ryan. When I show up and I see him on the water at the ramp, but it's never the same result. So,
well,
I know what's going on there.
I think he probably has a little bit of advantage on the Texas water anyway. I'll give him that.
All right. Hey, next guest, John. Thank you for being patient. Creek Fishing Adventures. What's up, man? You going to Rayburn? Did he talk you into it?
It sounds fun, but yeah, probably not. I wouldn't know how to handle a 10-pound bass. So
you just have to scream a lot and then get it wrapped up on something in your boat. That's how you do it.
I'm assuming you're a Tennessee fan. Is that a ball going in from the other night against Kentucky there behind you?
Dude, I'm actually a Kentucky fan, so that's a pretty sore subject right now.
Go Vols, baby! Woo!
Yeah, I'm down here amongst all the Tennessee people. It's rough.
A funny deal. My buddy, he plays in Luke Combs' band, and he sang the national anthem that night, and I didn't know it till I checked Instagram the other day. I was like, no wonder the Vols came out so hyped with you singing the national anthem. Ran them in the ground.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So man, I've been wanting to have you on here for a while. I know I've traded message with you a couple times. We tried to have you on for the YouTube preview, the channel review show. You, along with a few other guys, were sick. I kind of out of commission. But I still wanted to try to have you on when we had a week where we didn't have a tournament winner or something like that, because number one, you got a huge channel. You got a lot of fans over on YouTube, and congrats, by the way, on just clicking past 150.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and you're one of the handful of YouTubers. There's a lot of tournament guys that try to become try to make YouTube videos and things like that and do a good job. But you are a quote YouTuber that has grown your channel doing one thing that the last few years I've been watching your channel, you dabbled into kayak tournaments and you do more and more and more, it seems. So I want to talk about that a little bit. But before we do that, just kind of talk about how you got started from nothing in YouTube, from the ground up to now 150,000 subs, full-time YouTuber. Just tell us your background a little bit.
Yeah. So I always lived in Kentucky and Tennessee. I was born in Bowling Green area. So, basketball and fishing, everybody, did stuff like that. And Jeff, I know I've heard you talk about basketball. And like I say, I grew up playing basketball. That was the main thing. It's still probably my favorite sport. And I would be doing it more if I could find people to play with and wasn't getting old. But fishing's a lot easier. So anyway, so after high school, I didn't really want to go to college, and I kind of looked at maybe playing somewhere. I'm not putting that much effort into college. So I went to a tech school, got a 1-year degree, did HVAC, and kind of just started doing HVAC for I ended up doing it for 14 years. But so 7.5 years ago, right around that, I kind of I'm not a big social media guy. Like I was like late to, get on Facebook and any of that stuff. So when YouTube came up, I really never watched it much other than look up Tracy McGrady dunk highlights, and I'm like, I don't know what else is on there. And then, my brother-in-law and a couple people are showing me these fishing stuff, and I always fished, but not hardcore. I just enjoyed fishing. And, so I actually, this is the crazy thing of how I got started. Reason I started my channel is because I started looking for creek fishing videos, river fishing, creek fishing stuff that I could just kind of learn more about streams, pan fishing, multi-species stuff. And all it was like bass fishing and saltwater stuff. And I really wasn't that interested in bass fishing. Didn't really care. So I'm like, after a while, I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to start a channel. And so I started in 2016. In the summer, I made my first video, And I bought a camera. I took my nephew and a cousin to a little creek. We went and caught some fish. That was the first video. So I'm like, so the first 2 years though, it took the first year. It took me like a year to get 150 subscribers, and then the second year I finally get like 1,000. You know, and I know nothing. I didn't know any YouTubers. Didn't know a single person that was on social media. And plus, I was the last. I'm the person that always thinks, well, somebody else can do that. I can't do social media stuff, or I can't make videos. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah. So after 2.5 years, all of a sudden, it just started jumping. It started climbing. And what I realized though was I enjoyed making videos, and I enjoyed the process of going out there and doing it. And I kind of just had this drive to keep making videos, and it was exciting. I just wanted to make a better video than the last one. I was going to these little creeks, and you know, I would catch like a 1.5 pound bass, and it'd be a monster because I'm like in a foot of water. And then that's what really got me going. And then as I started doing that, I started meeting more people, and then learning about more places. So then I'm like, oh man, there's more and more. There's so many places out here to go to, you know. So 2.5 years in, it started climbing. All of a sudden, I went from making like $100 a month to over $1,000 a month, and I just watched it for like 4 months. I watched it, and I'm like, if it keeps growing, I'm just gonna quit, because I was doing HVAC, and I could have gone back to it. I could go back to it today. If I want to go get a job doing HVAC, I can do it tomorrow. It was never a thought. Like I wasn't ever worried about quitting my job. I'm single. I had a kind of a cheap house payment that I was buying. Didn't really have any truck payments. So everything was kind of, I was like, hey, what's the worst that could happen? How about I quit, start really cranking out videos, and just see where this goes. If it lasts a year, if I get to travel, make a few fishing trips, and then it crashes. So that was 4.5 years ago, and I'm still doing it. And
still not doing HVAC. Still.
And that's the best part. Yeah. I still do what I want to do.
HVAC, and
okay.
Congrats on getting out of the attic and out from under the house. Good job.
Oh my goodness. I'm so tired of crawling under and spiders and cobwebs and stuff. I do miss fixing problems. I love solving problems. So YouTube's given me a new challenge mentally to kind of figure things out and solve things. But I'm pretty lazy fisherman, and that's where creeks are perfect for me. All my friends are like, meet us at this time. I'm like, it's still dark then. I don't want to do that. So
you should go fish on Ryan.
Yeah, no kidding. We're on the same schedule, pal. Meet me about 9:30.
Yeah, there you go.
Bring me a white monster and a Twinkie, and we'll get after it.
Sounds good. That's about what I do. So I've really gotten into kayaking. That took me like a couple of years. I kayaked a little bit, but I didn't know anything about kayaking, and I didn't know anybody. So there was after a couple of years, I started wanting to explore rivers, and then I went and bought like a Son Dolphin King Sport for like $700. And I remember thinking, like, this is a lot of money for a kayak. I'm going all out. Like, I didn't even know of other brands, because I never went to a real kayak store. Like, I was just whatever's at Dunham's, I'm gonna buy that. So
this is the nicest one Walmart's got. I'm going to show out.
One for the 12-footer.
Yeah, it had a nice seat. So yeah. So my first kayak trip, I flipped my kayak and lose like a GoPro and stuff, but I was hooked. Once I did like some river floats, that was my favorite thing to do now, going down little river floats. But yeah, so now I'm doing it, still breaking even, trying to hit that next level where I really make money, but I get a lot of free stuff, so it's really cool. I got like 5 kayaks now, and didn't pay for any of them, which is awesome. So that's really fun. So
what kind of camera equipment do you use? Like when you got started versus now, are you just GoPro mainly? Is that kind of your bread and butter?
Yeah, really GoPros and my iPhone. It's about all I use. I have other stuff. Now I've bought this, bought that, and then I hardly use any of them. It's like, strap a GoPro on, bring my iPhone, and I'll fly a drone around every once in a while, or I have a little bit better camera. But my iPhone does as good as anything, and it's there, and it's accessible, and that's the main thing. Just videoing, having it out, having it videoing stuff.
Yeah, I've watched a fair amount of I just watched your last video, that 16-mile float on the You dropped that today, I think. But
Yeah.
Your setup is pretty simple in every video. It's kind of similar. Maybe that's what people like, is that consistency of that over the shoulder, front view, back and forth, and they know what they're going to get there. But yeah, very simple. And it reminds me of, I don't know if either one of y'all watched the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got like 6 million subs, huge YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And all he does is he's got a GoPro and a selfie stick. And that's pretty much it. He doesn't nothing fancy. So
killing it.
One rod, one rod, one reel. He don't post much anymore. He was one of the biggest YouTubers, and all he did was iPhone and a GoPro. He never used anything else. Yeah. And he was one of the biggest. People like simple. That's what I really like. And that's what I've learned about my channel. I'm catching panfish and whatever, and people love it. People love simple fishing stuff and just filming it simple. You don't have to have a high production, system or something like that. So, yeah.
I think because people feel like they can duplicate it. They see that and they're like, oh, I could do that, so they keep coming back.
We got some questions piling up. We'll get to them after we let a few more get into the queue there. We'll ask John some questions. What made you step over into doing some kayak tournaments? As you said, you started off not even really knowing anything about kayaks and what's going on there. But is that come from your basketball background, your competitive side, trying to get over into kayak tournaments?
That's not why I started, but it is a reason why I do it. So I never fished out of a bass boat, but like maybe once in my whole life. So I was never like around bass fishing. And when I saw some guys in like Alex Rudd and Josh Sharp, I watched them making videos up in Knoxville. They're like an hour and a half from me. And they would do their local kayak tournaments. And of course, Ryan, you know how it is doing HVAC. You don't have time to do anything. Like I was on call every third or second week. So that was never even a thought. So I would have never been able to get into kayak tournament doing that. So now that I have time and I want to just kind of keep learning, I'm like, that looks kind of fun. The first kayak tournament I go to, I think I quit 2 hours early. I'm in that paddle kayak and the wind was just blowing. I was so mad. The wind's just blowing me around. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm just paddling. I'll wait for everybody to get done. I caught fish though, I caught a limit, and stuff like that. So I could always find fish. Like, I don't know, like y'all were talking to the guy earlier and I'm like, all that stuff's going over my head. Like I have no idea, but I feel like, and it's that, that little competitiveness and you're like, I can find a fish. I can go catch a bass. I can get lucky and catch a big one if I can, find a few. And that's kind of my mentality still. And then once I get into it, once I'm there, like in the kayak, I'm like, all right, it's on. I am trying to be the best fisherman out here. Before then, that morning, I could care less about it. But once I have gotten to fishing, then I'm like focused on it, and I'll have a drive to go do it. But that's what I tell everybody. I was like, when I played basketball, like I'm not a competitive person anywhere else, but once I'm on the court, I'm trying to be the best guy that's out there. Like I am going hard. I can't play basketball casually. And then, so this tournament stuff was kind of like, and I was tired of hearing, I've heard from all these people, there's everybody around me, kayak tournament fishers. So they're saying all this, you got to use this. You got to use this. I'm like, I'll just take what I have. I don't care what it is. And I'll go find a fish. I end up, placing higher than most of those guys anyways. So it's just funny. I love how simple it can be. It can be complicated and tough. Like I've had horrible days, but I won one on Chick. We did a local one with a 10 cat group, 30 people. And I went into it doing, I'm taking yum dingers only. I took like 2 rods, yum dingers only. I had 58 inches and 3 fish. it was like
Chick's the place to do it too. You can roll up on one spot and there's just a few giants hanging around there waiting on a Cinco in their mouth.
Yeah. But I also liked about kayaking, I like going up little creek channels out of the way, just fishing shallow. There's always fish shallow, especially like I live close to Chick and some of these lakes, but I hardly go out there for bass. But when I do, it's like you can find them there's always in a creek channel. They're always up somewhere shallow. You can go, find a couple of bass. So, but I do like the competitive. I got a pedal drive Old Town 120 now. That's what I've been fishing out of. I'm trying to work on getting a motorized kayak to kind of just help me get to more places and make it a little easier. But I do like, I'm fishing in a
strap you one on there, strap you a motor on that Old Town.
Yeah. I think I'm getting one from Newport.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
have Lily send you one of them EPDLs. You got the clout.
Yeah.
Tell them to send you one of them.
I saw one in person over the weekend. They look
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I didn't
I've
get to
seen
put it on
those.
the water. Someone had already paid for it, but
No test drives for Ryan. Damn.
nope.
Yeah. I thought it was a good time to have you on as well because of what you just talked about with keeping things simple, finding fish simple, things like that. Because we are in an age of unsimple fishing. I mean, there's been a bunch of stories this week with 3 graphs on a kayak, scopes, dual motors, a little DP going on the kayak. I mean, it's insane what's going on out there. But at the end of the day, simple still works, doesn't it, John?
Yeah. And I don't have I'm not saying I'm going to win tournaments, but when I go to one, I'm just trying to be in that top 10%. And I'm fishing in the Bassmaster National, got 7th down in Gunnersville. First day I went out on a paddle kayak because I was just fishing over this grass, ended up finding fish, caught everything on a spinnerbait. Threw a spinnerbait 2 days in the Tennessee Bass Nation, and it was about as simple as it gets. I'm like, this is fun, but yeah, I didn't have any, I'm trying to learn as it goes, and I want to be able to learn more about every other lure out there. But the ones that you're confident in are going to catch fish usually, so just go out there and catch them. And it always cracks me up. I like kind of making fun of tournament anglers sometimes, but
us too.
It's just fun. And I joke with the other guys too. I'm like, as hard as everybody works, there's always that bottom half that can't catch a limit. And I mean, I've been there too, but it's just funny how hard, so much effort we put into it. And then it's like, yeah, I couldn't find 3 keepers or 2 keepers. So maybe that's why I'm afraid to try too hard. I'll make fun of myself.
It'll get you. Sometimes you overthink it. You go in, you have a plan, and your plan is not the same plan as the fish's.
Yeah, that's 100%.
We're going to get to some more of these questions, but here's a quick one. This kind of goes with the tournaments. Do you use any electronics?
No, I don't have anything. I would maybe get a graph or get something on there, but I don't know anything about electronics. I never used them, and I just don't want to buy anything. So, and I'm like too stubborn to want to try. I mean, maybe one day I'll try something. I'm just like, I don't want to.
If anybody's trying to get their electronics on YouTube, send John a graph.
Yeah. Send John a graph. Come on.
People always ask me, what was the water temperature? I'm like, I have no idea. I've never checked water temperature in my life.
I don't know.
You need to do the Drew Gregory. He pulls a meat thermometer out of his pocket and sticks it in the water real quick. And that's
hilarious.
Yeah, I fished with him a few times. And that's something to learn, like how people fish differently, how so many different ways there are to fish and catch fish. And like watching him fish and stuff, and I was like, wow, that's there's so much. I'm like barely covering water, and he's covering 7 miles fishing as he's going.
101, son. He does not slow down at all anywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah, Drew is 100 miles an hour all the time.
Yeah,
whether it's fishing or talking or whatever. He
said he's never thrown a wacky rig.
I wouldn't doubt that at all. What was the slowest presentation I recall him cashing a check? What was that, Grand Lake, Jeff, when he was throwing a jig? That's like the slowest fishing I've ever heard him speak of.
Sure enough. It's
usually a frog, a spinnerbait, a jackhammer, something moving quickly.
Let's see. Let's go to some of these questions we have. Over on Facebook, Jennifer Solberg, what was your most popular video?
I was just talking about that today, actually.
Actually, I have it pulled up. There it is. Right.
Is it? Yeah. That's downtown. I was getting my truck worked on by a mechanic, and I walk around the corner and look in this little creek and catch some little they're called Coosa bass. They're a red-eye bass species, and they only get about 12 inches long. And I catch some of those in the middle of this little creek that runs through town, all concrete and everything. Everybody drives and walks over it, never would ever think about fish being in there. That kind of stuff fascinates me, just what all lives in little areas that's 6 inches of water and just thriving and living good in there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where do you live? Where's home?
Cleveland, Tennessee.
Cleveland? No kidding.
Yeah.
You're right up the road then.
How close is that, Ryan?
To me, 48 minutes roughly.
Okay.
Are you in Georgia or what?
No, I'm in Jasper, Nickajack Lake.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Very close. Let's see. What's next? We've got from YouTube, Fisherman83. John, what species of fish do you like to chase or catch the most?
If I have to choose one, I'm going smallmouth bass in a river or creek, either wading or kayaking, preferably wading. I love if you can wade through a stream, and some of the ones in Middle Tennessee are like easier to walk and wade in than the ones over here on the mountains. But yeah, that can be some of the best fun. You catch a 16, 17 smallie, standing in the water with it, having it fighting that current. But most of the time it's whatever I can catch. Like I got on about 15 crappie that were like all 7 or 8 inches Saturday, and I just was messing around looking for whatever, catching them on ultralight. This time of year, I'm just trying to catch anything I can catch. The streams are kind of hard to catch a lot of fish out of them right now. Get really cold, but yeah, smallmouth bass, and then it's just anything I can get to bite.
Ryan, I'm picking up on a new feature this stuff is doing. If people put their thumbs up, it's like causing a. Have you noticed that?
I see that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, weird.
It started last week, and we thought our guest Blake was like messing with us because he's pretty psychedelic in his delivery. So we thought he had some kind of magic on there, and he didn't. Turns out
Skynet, they're after us. They're coming for us. Yeah, crazy. So this is more of a comment. John said, John, Alex, and Josh Sharp went on some pretty cool floats together last year. You remember some of those? What was your favorite one of those last year, John?
Yeah, that's something we kind of started a couple years ago, and then last year we ended up doing like probably 4, maybe more than that, maybe 5 or 6, like where we tried to meet up and do some rivers, and we did one that Alex picked, and it was a river we never seen before. It was not even the river we thought. It was something else. And we talked to two game wardens. They both said, yeah, you're fine. And it was the worst river I'd ever kayaked. It was so hard because it was just big boulders. It was one of those streams that has just giant boulders, and there's no everybody's like, well, just you gotta find the path and ride it through the rapids. Like, there's not a path. There's boulder. I'm like, especially in our, we're in Crescent Shoals, which they're pretty good, but they're still long, and so he actually flipped his kayak in that trip. But we had to drag our kayaks more than we were floating them, so just to get around, and it was exhausting. So it's memorable. It was not when you remember, but it was tough.
Yeah.
How often do you put videos out? Like, do you have like a schedule? Like, what do you shoot for as far as like weekly posts?
I shoot for 3 a week, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's my goal. I make like 85% of my money through YouTube ads. So if I don't put videos out, I'm not getting paid. So I have to keep making videos, really, to kind of keep the revenue up. I can see a big difference when I only put a couple out. And then sometimes there's just the way YouTube is, it can just go up or down as far as views. But consistent videos is the most important thing.
Do you study all the algorithm stuff and all that? Are you nerding out on that stuff?
No,
nope.
When I started my channel and when I made my first videos, I was like, I said this, and this is still the way I believe. Like, I'm gonna make the video I want to make, and I don't care what other people want to see. Like, if it works, it works. And I knew that was going to work because everybody is like-minded with somebody else. So everybody has their own people they like, and I didn't know it was going to grow to what it's going now. Like, I was just hoping to get a few thousand subscribers, maybe make a couple $100 extra for a fishing trip. And then once it kind of started growing, it just consumed me. I'm like, all right, I got to just keep this going. So, and I'm not trying to, like, that video, my best video, like, I have yet to go back to that spot, and it's 10 minutes from me. But because I haven't had the desire to go back there and fish that again. I just fish the way I want to fish and do what I want to do. But because that's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm not trying to fake anything I'm not good at, hype it. I'm not trying to hype something up. I'm just going to do what I enjoy doing. And that comes through in videos so well. If I'm excited about something, if I had a fun day, the comments and people are like, man, you had a fun day. And I don't even realize, like, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I really did. So I'm just doing what I want to do. I try to look at, like, sometimes look at analytics or look at something, but for the most part, I don't know I don't know how much it matters really. The YouTube thumbnail is important. That's one of the biggest things I've learned, and I can see that through my views. Having a thumbnail that is that catches my viewers' attention. Other than that, I just try to do multi-species stuff a lot and do the things I'm interested in. And then I got into kayak bass tournaments, and at first, a lot of people didn't like those.
Yeah, but
I try to tell the story of what's going on that day, and I make an effort to like include everything, what's going on, and not just have dead spots. And it can be tough when you're getting really aggravated or you fish 3 hours without a bite, but you got to stay engaged, telling the story of what's happening. And a lot of people are starting to enjoy the tournament videos.
Why do you think people didn't like those? Do you think it's because it was in a tournament, or, I mean, what do you think turned your audience off? Because you were trying to catch largemouth that day, or what do you think it was?
I think it's most of my best videos are always small streams, usually wading. I think part of it might be the view, like the camera angle. But also everybody can wade or stop at a small stream and fish it. And there's a lot of kayakers out there, but a lot of people that don't kayak, I don't know if they really enjoy watching the kayak stuff as much. But I know there's so many people that have said, like, I got into kayaking because you make it look so fun. And I'm so glad I did. And that's where I'm like, kayaking is a blast. If you've never done it, you have to get into it if you enjoy fishing and just enjoy getting off the bank, getting away from everybody else.
Yeah. And you know, I don't know the ratio, but it's 10-1 or more recreational fishermen to tournament fishermen to begin with.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of people that follow you enjoy your videos for the adventure of creek wading, getting on these off the beaten path waters, multi-species, like you said. So, you know, they had to just kind of get in the groove with your storytelling for the tournaments, probably. Then they just weren't used to that. But what kind of encouragement do you have for folks? Our YouTube review show, the channel review show, did really well. A lot of people like that. They're trying to grow their brand over there if they are tournament anglers, whatever. What kind of encouragement can you give them? Because I would bet that some of the videos you worked the hardest on and like planned out didn't do as good as you thought. And then I don't know if that most popular video, if you expected it to do that or not, but to kind of just stay in the grind and, you know, the highs and lows of low views, high views, and likes, some tips for folks to just stay on that grind.
Yeah. So yeah, usually that's the way I've had several videos where it's just random, really quick, thrown together. And then, or like a really quick spurt, like I didn't plan the trip out or anything. And those videos do way better than ones that I've planned for a month, that I, you know, worked really hard, got all kinds of different angles, set up extra cameras, and those, you know, flop. The main thing is being consistent and is growing an audience that likes what you do. And you have to do something. Oh, you just got to do this kind of the same thing over and over again. The second thing because I got friends that it's some people just aren't going to, I don't know. People come across different. Like there's a guy, I don't know if you know, Daniel Arms. He has a channel, Arms Family Homestead. And he's so good at talking to the camera. He's got like 700,000 subscribers, doesn't do anything fancy. He's just simple, talking to the camera, you know, showing his animals and stuff like that. And it's how do you tell a story? He's so good at telling a story. I think like a quick pace as far as the intro, getting into the meat, giving updates, what's going on, keep people engaged. You got to talk. I had to make myself talk through catches. Now I find myself talking the whole time. If you're not talking about what's going on, people will just drop out. They want to hear that talking. Make sure it's clear and audible. But I think what you can do, a lot of people will rush to get videos out, and that's a big mistake. As far as like, go out and do your filming, but don't rush to like, I got to upload that as fast as I can. Spend a little extra time editing out some little stuff, you know, try to clean it up, spend extra time on that thumbnail. And while you're fishing, stop and film the things that you need to film. Don't just rush through your day of fishing. I fish a lot of guys that they can't take a break from casting. And we'll be on an 8-hour float and they can't take 5 minutes to stop casting. You take 5 minutes to, do a little recap or do a little this and that, kind of keep people engaged. Kind of slowing down mentally as you're fishing, I think, and just kind of make sure you're keeping people informed of what's going on.
We have this Josh Sharp guy in the comments. He wants to know if he can get an autograph.
No, never.
Sorry, pal. He's too big.
Yeah. No, we fish all the time, so
That's awesome.
he usually outfishes me.
We're gonna go with some more questions over on. You already kind of answered this. Pi Squared on YouTube. Did John get a motor set up yet? You said you got one en route. Is that right?
Supposedly, that's what that was. That's what I was told. That I was supposed to get one in February. And I've talked to Newport not Newport. I talked to Old Town actually about some stuff, but nothing's set there yet either. If I could afford it, I would actually buy some because I would love to show them. I like showing what all trying different things. But if I don't get one here pretty soon, I might have to do something because I don't want to go out to Oklahoma without one.
Take one with you for sure.
Back to Facebook. Jason Bettis. What size Ned head does John use in most of his local rivers?
I usually 1/16 ounce is like my go-to weight, and I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see that. It's like an owner offset blockhead. Is one of my hooks that I like. It's like I think a 1/0 size hook, and I try to just do everything weedless. I fish hellgrammites a lot and a yum dinger, but like just 3-inch hellgrammites and hook them up weedless.
Oh wow!
Yeah, those things are wild. You thought
Those
those
are
a lot.
And that's what's funny. Like, this is the craziest color. Yum made this color basically because I was throwing this color yum dinger and catching like all my best bass on it. And then I've used this and caught like 18s and 19-inch smallmouth in creeks. So I like doing stuff sometimes just to like mess with people. And I'm like, I'm going to use this color. I'm going to catch just as many fish as that guy, even though he thinks they're biting because he put this color on. But yeah, a hellgrammite works. That style lure, like way you can get it to drift in the current, is awesome when they're feeding in that current, because you can just bounce it right into their mouth the way they like to eat.
Fantastic. Let's go back to Facebook. Eric Romines. One rod, one bait. If you had that choice, what are you taking for a tournament? Pink hellgrammite?
Yep. No, yum dinger. So a 6. I just got a new one. I got it at the fishing expo. I got a 13 Black Envy rod for $100. I was like, yeah, I'll take that. And it's a 6'9" medium, and I usually use a 4-inch yum dinger.
What? That color too?
Yeah, that color. That's it.
What?
I caught I've caught 2 over 5 pound spotted bass in the river, and I've caught my 7.5 pound largemouth out of chick on it, and like a couple 6-pounders.
That's
what's the name of that? What's the name of that? What's the name of that color?
It's bubblegum yellow swirl.
Oh.
So I started. Funny story is, like, the first time I used it, I was like, this will never work. And I'm fishing an area where and this is what I liked. I like proving things to myself, and you hear all these things people tell you, and I don't listen to anything people say. Like, I like watching Tactical Bassin or whatever, but I don't listen to anything they say because I don't think it applies to me.
Don't know shit.
Yeah, they know what they are doing, but it doesn't mean it's going to work the way I fish and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so I was fishing and I was catching these fish. They're these smallies out of a river, and I had one of these color, and I'm like, I'm just going to put that on there because I already caught like 3, and I kind of knew there was a few more there. I throw in there, boom, right away it gets hammered. And I was like, wow, the other color that was natural didn't make any different than this color. And then I've got that's like my favorite color. That's my go-to confidence bait for real. Like, I've caught so many fish on that.
Match the hatch? No, I'll take neon orange and pink, baby.
And everybody knows
nowhere in nature.
All the guys that fish with me know I use that, and they're like, "Did you use the yum dinger today?"
Does it matter? Like clear water, muddy water, doesn't matter. You're throwing the dreamsicle in there.
Yeah, I'll throw it in. Coy River here, crystal clear water. I'm throwing it over there. Boom. That's where I caught my 5 pound, 5 ounce spotted bass
I heard there's some giant mega spots up in that area.
Yeah, that's the spot. I've floated over so many.
In the summertime. I've been told stories about it. I heard it's absolutely insane.
There's a bunch of guys from North. There's a bunch of people that float it, but it still doesn't get fished that much comparatively. Mm-hmm. But like I like doing it, but I still haven't. I feel like I've really caught a ton of big ones. There's some mean mouth in there too. It's kind of cool. But it's kind of spread out. A lot of the rivers around here, like there's a deep hole. You'll catch one or two, and then you move on to another hole. They're not just like loaded up like some of the rivers. I don't know. Everywhere is different. That's what I like about East Tennessee area, and we got such a variety of different types of streams, and they all fish differently, kind of, or hold different types of fish.
I like it.
Yeah. I just put up that comment from Chris Phelan. He said, "Seen the fish the same creek. He was using green pumpkin, didn't catch nothing. You're throwing that the bubblegum swirl was the limit. Why do you think that is? Is it they haven't seen that color? Just something that stands out? Why does it work so well?"
I don't know. That's a good question. I argue with a bunch of people about this. We go back and forth, and I think there's a lot to how slowly. I think there's a lot more to how slowly you fish a lure. And how when you fish something with confidence, you fish it differently. You just know it's going to work, or there's probably a fish over on that area. I'm going to let that bait sit there a couple extra seconds. When I fish an area where I don't know if there's fish there, I'm kind of moving fast. So fishing it slow, like I will throw it on that 1/16 ounce, or I'll throw it weightless, and just let it. I'll like give it tons of time to fall. Like let it fall. If it hit the bottom, say I'm in 4 to 6 foot of water, I'll let it sit there for a little while and then just slowly pick it up, because I've watched so many fish in creeks, and that's where I learned most of my stuff is fishing in crystal clear water. I'm looking at a fish. He doesn't know I'm there. I'm casting in front of him. He comes over and looks at my bait for 3 or 4 seconds, and you might do a couple little twitches, and he gets closer and closer, and then finally he eats it. If I couldn't see that, I would have never caught that fish. Like how many fish are we throwing past that? Obviously, we're throwing past a lot of fish that don't bite, but I think fishing slowly and letting that hit the bottom and kind of sit there has really helped me catch a lot of fish.
That's old school live scope, Brian.
Yeah, when you're actually looking at them.
Yeah. Actually looking at them. Yeah,
I love that. That's a blast when you're watching fish eat like that.
Bob Baylor, KBN legend, Bob Baylor. Do you do any trout creek fishing? Not stock trout, but like targeting trout, natural trout in streams.
I've caught a few, not very much. I don't really care for it that much. I've gone up into the wild trout areas and caught some wild, what are they? I forget what they're called now. The ones that are actually natural to here, like up in North Carolina and stuff.
You got brook trout up there?
Yeah, brook trout. We got
there's some with rainbows that they stocked a long time ago that still live not too far from you.
Yeah, there's actually a stream that has wild rainbows, like 40 minutes from me. I've fished it a few times. They don't get real big, and there's just not a lot of them per pool. But trout fishing, I don't know. I don't really care that much for it. They're more delicate kind of, and it's fun. I mean, I like catching anything, but I would rather catch like, an aggressive, sunfish and watch it just hammer a little lure or a little topwater bug you throw in a creek, and they just smash it like they're about a 4-pounder and they're only 6 inches long.
I like that because
I'm not buying every swirl yum digging now. Don't worry.
They make swirly nets.
I'm not buying it. Buying it.
They make swirly TRDs, Brian? Come on.
No, I'm just gonna melt them. I don't even have to melt them. I'm just gonna wrap them together in the pack and let them melt together.
There we go. Yeah, in this time where we overcomplicate things, it's cool. I mean, I think most of us, if not all of us, started fishing, wading off the bank, whatever. And there's something that we miss about that. I always talked when I was fishing a lot more tournaments, I'd always kind of get mad at myself because you get too focused on tournaments and you forget to go float your favorite river or go do whatever you used to do. Yep. So it's cool that even though you're dabbling in tournaments, you've kept true to yourself and keep doing that.
Yeah. Everybody asked me to do more tournaments, or a lot of my friends. And I mean, they first off, they wear me out. I get so exhausted after them because like I don't eat or drink, and then you're just dead the next day. And then, but I do get pumped up for like some of the 2-day ones. I'm going to try to do I like to do like maybe once a month. Now we got one that Tennessee Bass Nation on Watts Bar.
Watts
like I'm going to
Bar
do
this
that
weekend.
Saturday. Yeah, probably won't catch anything because I can't catch anything in February.
Get the
Bass
yum
anyway.
dingers out, baby.
Yeah. So and then the water's low. I can't go up any creek channels because they got the water down. So I'm like, I don't know.
I'm
But
thinking about jumping in that one myself. I kind of want to.
yeah, I want to try to do that and you know do a few tournaments here and there. Do one of Drew Gregory's. I'm hoping to do like the Shirley Palooza. I got to go. I did a Bass Nation in Susquehanna, the national event last year,
Yeah.
and that was eye opening.
That place is magic. How those smallies like that yum dinger?
I didn't have to use that. I caught everything on the spinnerbait. I threw a spinnerbait both days. Yeah.
You didn't even test
That's
it?
a
You didn't even
different
test
world up there.
It was here's one thing I saw up there that I'd never seen before. Any slack water, there was not a single fish in the slack water. Like they're not in the slack water where a normal bass is. They're in straight current.
They're eating.
And even behind boulders, I couldn't get a bite behind a boulder that stuck out of the water. It was only underwater ripples. Now I don't know if that's, if it changes all the time, but
Yeah. You're not too far off. Did you throw a giant whopper plopper at all up there?
no.
Dude,
I
next time you go, when you're pre-fishing, before all the pressure gets started, throw a giant whopper plopper out there and just watch those freaking fish knock it around.
Also, I took a crescent shoalie because I went up there. Drew kind of set it up. And he's like, hey, we got some people to come in. So I stayed at their house, and I stayed with Josh Shrinko and all them. So like everybody in the house did better than me.
Oh boy,
everybody killed it, and I still got like 36 out of like whatever 140 people. So I was like happy, but I thought we were going to do floats. I thought it was going to be like river floats. Everybody had motors. I show up with the shoalie and paddle in the current and wind 2 days in a row. Whoa.
What's going on there?
what is happening?
Somebody's celebrating. I don't know what that
That's
was.
amazing.
John, there is something that I'm not aware of with this software, but just continue. Sorry.
Yeah.
It heard paddling, and then it did fireworks. So there you go.
Yeah, I know. So now I paddled in the current and wind for 2 days.
Time, just holler at somebody and get a float part. Like there's 50 people.
Yeah.
I'd say more than that doing floats. Just bum a ride.
The problem was I knew there was fish in this area, and I just kept circling it and just kept catching fish. But I was very exhausted. Yeah, so I would love to go back up there and fish that again. But like half the time is like I do the tournament. The tournaments don't make me any money. I do the tournaments for fun. Like that's something I want to learn how to do, and I just try to, I'll just make a video out of them, even though I go in the hole whenever I do trips like that. But everybody does.
It's a good place to do a video though, because so many people search stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, kayak fishing the Susquehanna or whatever. That's a hot spot, and there's plenty of action. Like you automatically have plenty of footage to edit because there's just fish everywhere.
The first fish I caught, it was a 16-inch, and I saw it. I was like, "This is a 5-pounder." He was so wide. I'd never seen a smallmouth like that. I'm like, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah,
it was only
short and
16 inches. I
thick
was like,
up
"Wow."
there. Thick.
Yeah, that was different.
Wow. Katie says it's the hand movements, Ryan. So I'm going to try to make something happen here.
I don't know, dude. I don't know how you turn the fireworks on. That's
Yeah.
That
We'll
was
see.
crazy.
Nothing. Maybe it's only the guess.
It's not the hand move. I don't think so.
Yeah. So John, we're going to wrap this thing up here in a minute, man. But before we go, I got to ask you, just to kind of reflect. I know when you started, you kind of already said it. You didn't ever think you'd be here. Full-time YouTuber, 150,000 subs. What's that journey?
Podcast.
Yeah, on this podcast.
That's exactly what I thought.
This is kind of dipping back to his olden days of being less than a YouTube star. He's back here on KBN. But, reflect back on that. What has it meant to you? Where do you see this going in the future? Where I know you never thought you'd be here, but here you are now. So reflect back on that.
I try not to take any of it for granted. And I look back and I think I've gotten to do more fishing trips than most people get to do in their life that I've gotten to do in the last 4 years. And the knowledge that I've learned just going different places, meeting people, fishing different ways, and fishing all over. I've got, not everywhere, but I've been in a lot of different states and fishing and doing lots of things. I feel like I can't replace that. I don't know what the future is going to do. Or if I could transition this into working maybe at a fishing thing, or maybe I just keep doing this. Who knows? It might grow way more than I think. I have a goal like making some maybe custom rods and lures and stuff at some point. but we started a little merch, selling some merch. My sister's running it. She's working on setting that up again. We kind of ran out. But yeah, it's a weird ride that I still wake up thinking I'm late for work and like, oh, I don't have to go to work. I can do whatever I want today. So, but also I try to use with all this extra time and ability, I try to use it for, to help people, to fish with people, to take people out fishing. You know, I know that God's given me this ability and this time to also be a help to other people, and that maybe don't get to do as much. So, I don't know. It's weird. We'll see how it goes. And I'm loving it, having a blast, doing it. I go up and down. Of course, there's ups and downs every week. Basically, I'm like, this is dumb. I ain't doing no more. Then the next day, I'm ready to go back at it. So, other than that, yeah, it's been going pretty good, and I hope it just continues to go. And who knows what I'm going to get into next.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
That's awesome. Well, we'll see you out there in Oklahoma. Hopefully on stage.
Oh yeah. I got 13th last year, so the top 10 got to go up. I was just happy I got that 13th. That was pretty cool.
Last year, that tournament never even happened.
Yeah.
I had a fun time there last year, Ryan. I had a respectable finish. I think I was 25th, so I was right there. I was right there.
Whatever.
Respectable. I'll take it. I'm signing up for Rayburn just to guarantee myself a top 100 at this point. So I'm doing.
You better go to Rayburn if it's on fire like they're talking about.
Yeah, I know. I'll be texting you being mad about it after I get there.
On the way home Sunday.
Sunday after I get my biscuit on the way home. No, but it's going to be fun. But John, thank you, man. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And, we'll have you back on when you hit.
Congrats on the success. I didn't realize you were in Cleveland, dude. You're way closer than everybody else. Holler at me and let's get out and poke around sometime.
Dude, yeah, let's do it. I definitely appreciate y'all inviting me. I know it took a few times. There's always something coming up, but yeah, it's great to be on.
You're the man.
Sounds good. Take it easy, bud.
There it is. John from Creek Fishing Adventures. Awesome channel. I love it. I know a lot of people watching follow John over there. So great stuff,
man.
Great stuff. Yeah. So in honor of John being on the show tonight, to win some Revos, the Revo giveaway, #Creek.
Hey, take that,
Creek.
Josh Evans.
Take that, Josh. You ain't cheating us tonight, buddy.
No.
Hit that #Creek, and we're gonna wrap the show with another clip of DJ's video because I saw DJ in the comments. So we'll honor him with that. So hit that #Creek. What'd you think, Ryan? Big Sam preview was good. It sounds like it's gonna be on fire. I need to make that happen.
I've got Kenzo this weekend. I don't know how I can get her from school on Friday and get to Texas, but we're gonna have to think a lot harder about it now.
I'll throw the jackhammer in your honor.
Oh, please! I'll send you some.
All right. I got a handful.
Do you have Fire Craw?
Yes.
All right, do that.
I do. I've got the full size, the mini max, and the big blade Fire Craw.
So take that mini max out and bust them in the head.
Yeah. Fill up that deal. We had sitting over 100 still. We had them over on Twitter /X. We had them on Twitch tonight. Big audience on YouTube, Facebook. And I wasn't on last week, so I didn't get to mention this, but we built this show, Ryan, on Facebook. We did it backwards. We started on Facebook, and then not even that long ago, started getting serious with YouTube. And we just passed 2,000 subscribers on YouTube.
What?
Yeah.
Are we rich yet?
No.
Can we quit our jobs? When did he say he could? When do you get to quit your job?
Maybe that's the key. Maybe we just need to quit right now. Do the show 3 times a week. If you build it,
we'd probably my liver would quit if we did this show 3 times a week. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I figure the audience would thin out. I'm afraid.
Nah.
Yeah. All right, so still building in the entries. Hit that #Creek. I'll give you another minute or two, and we'll do this giveaway. Get out of here for the night.
Can't wait.
Here we go. We're gonna pull it right now. Even 60.
Dun dun dun.
Bam. Who's getting slow rolled this evening? Bam, 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 bam. Parts Unknown Outdoors. I like that name.
Yeah, that's. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah. Parts Unknown Outdoors on YouTube. Hit us up on the Facebook if you have an account over there, or just kayakbassnation@gmail.com. Send me an email.
Yeah.
We'll get you a code, man.
I like it.
There we go, Ryan. Fun show, man. Glad to be back.
Sir. Yeah, I'm glad to have you back. I was worried about you. Tried to call Jeff before the show, and he wouldn't even answer me. I was trying
went to bed, dude.
It wasn't anything serious, and it went straight to voicemail. And I was like, "Uh-oh, My boy's down bad.
Old Papaw was in bed, but I'm back. We're ready to go.
Glad to have you back.
All right, man. We'll see y'all next week with the Rayburn winner, eh?
Yep, let's do it.
A master in the shallow, but one I'm catching them deep. Learn to finesse the game, cause power's easy to me. Mama always told me there's plenty fish in the sea.